Welcome to the Effects Loop. I'm Scott.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Diaz.
And we're keeping you in the loop of the guitar community. This week's episode is brought to you by Stringjoy, maker of custom wound strings for your playing pleasure. I think all of us are currently rocking some Stringjoys on a number of our guitars right now. And I guess one of the things I'll bring up is, so I switched to these from a coated string recently, and I'm like 2 or 3 months into some of these sets. Are you guys having similar kind of like, they're lasting a lot longer than I thought they would?
Well, that's only because I only get to play like once every 6 months, so there's no sense in me like changing strings every month if I'm not using it.
Yeah, no, I've had like really good longevity out of them.
So if that's one of those things that's kind of like holding you back, I think take a look at that. That's like they break in very gradually. It's not you put them on one day and then the next day they're a different set. At least that's the experience we found. So, if that's something that's holding you back and thinking about trying them out, I'd encourage you to take a look at them and give this process a second chance. And I think that brings us into what's new. So, Chris, what's going on with you?
I am out of town this week, so just kind of normalize the weird audio on my end. That's why. But,
no new toys? I think you had a story about playing out recently, didn't you?
Played out last Sunday. I remember now what you're referring to. So, you know how, I'm sure most of our viewers probably know what like planning center is, but if you don't, it's for church musicians. You put your song sheets, song examples, so YouTube links, Spotify, whatever, and you let them practice. So I practiced that week, and everything was like relatively simple. I've played at other places relatively the same way, so I wasn't like too worried about it. Show up day of, we end up doing everything freaking like gospel, not even gospel style, like R&B gospel-esque style.
Like Kirk Franklin?
Yeah, like something like way, way, way out of my like wheelhouse. Like if you're throwing me into like an old country gospel church, sure, I can like fake it, but you throw me into that, it's like, no, you're gonna get what you get. Sorry if it's bad, but there's I
don't even tan. Like, there's no way I'm so white. Like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. What gets me is we're in a suburban church too, like upper middle class, upper class, like that kind of like situation, and we're doing that. It's like not saying that's a bad thing, but it's like this is definitely not the crowd that would appreciate that.
Did they give you, so like in Planning Center, like I get like example tracks of how the song should go? Did they give you gospel versions, or did they give you like straight up Hillsong? And like
they gave Hillsong, Jesus Culture Elevation, whatever artists we were doing that week, they gave us those. So it's like, okay, I'm probably gonna be sitting here doing like ambient stuff the entire time, so I'll listen to it, make sure I know my chords, and relatively be okay. Get in there and we're doing it that style, and it's like, okay. I can't just sit here and sat there and watch. Be done.
I would have given money to sit there and watch you do that.
Yeah, show up with a Billy Joe Armstrong signature model too, and like knowing you've got like a half rack full of.
Yeah, I mean, like I had my Armstrong signature and like my full pedal board and stuff, and it's like, okay, I could have gotten away with like literally just bringing my amp pedal, and a guitar instead of dragging everything.
You should have gone full, what is it, iHeartRadio or whatever, Billy Joe Armstrong. He's like, you okay over there?
I did have my Tele Deluxe with me, so I could have like smashed that and it'd been fine.
You're like, 15 years. I've been playing guitar for 15 years, and this is what they do to me. and then the bass player just starts breaking his because he doesn't know what's going on. He's like, I guess we're breaking guitars this service.
That would have definitely like triggered all of the old people.
That boy's got the devil in him. I seen it, Charlie. No, I'm not going to be quiet.
No, every time I bring my Billy Joe Armstrong to church, I always end up like posting on my personal Instagram like a Jesus of Suburbia reference just to see if I can piss anybody off. Like deliberately taking a picture of the guitar in church and making up something like semi-spiritual and then, just doing it. Surprisingly, it hasn't worked yet. I even posted it in PNW and it actually went fine. They let me down.
I mean,
I feel like if anyone actually got the reference, they would be down with what you're doing, though.
Yeah, this is true. I'm surprised we didn't have Diaz's best friend in there, like, hounding down on me.
I love the evil laugh from Scott.
So, I guess that brings us to you, Diaz. What's going on with you?
Absolutely nothing so far this week. I've got stuff coming to me. Did I already say what I...
You did not.
It's out of the bag now. So if you've followed us on Instagram, I got tagged. I ordered a wiring harness from Gun Street. I didn't tell them, right?
No, this is all new to the cast.
Welcome, new people. But I got a harness from Gun Street Wiring. I heard about them from the Gear Slum and all that, and I've been watching them, and honestly, I'm not a person who's great at soldering and the like technical parts of the guitar, like doing all the wiring, all that. So the harnesses are pretty cool. I got a harness once before from Emerson, and that was for a Tele, so kind of excited. I'm going to put it on my SG. I needed to get some upgraded pots, and I had one pot that was starting to crackle, so I was just like, well, might as well go for it. And so I wanted a kill switch. And this is like the coolest part, because I'm a big Tom Morello fan. I know quite a bit of their stuff, but I wanted a kill switch installed in a button style. I messaged him. I was like, could you replace, one of the tone pots and just have one tone control for both pickups and turn the other spot into a kill switch. And he was like, well, why don't you check this out? And he sent me a pot that actually has a built-in kill switch. So it just put whatever cover you want on it, and it just slightly goes in and it kills the signal. So he talked me into that, and I'm really freaking excited to get that in.
That should be pretty cool. I mean, I've never seen that in a pot. I've always seen it like the arcade button added or something like that. So
well, that's kind of what I was thinking about, was like the arcade button, and he showed me that, and I was like, that's absolutely perfect, because it's easy. I don't have to move in a kind of a weird way, because it's going to be on the tone control for the bridge pickup, I think is the way he has it wired, and it's going to be pretty cool. And he did some cool things, like he did I guess matching, like the value matching. Yeah,
he matched your pots with your pickups, right?
Yes. So
that's
he asked me what pickups I had. I told him about the Lambertones, the Cremas, and he looked up the information, and I guess he spent quite a while getting the pots with the right values. So it's just really cool. I'm really excited. So I got to place an order with them, and I've so far doing the custom wiring, just dealing with the guys over there. It was just really cool. It was a good conversation. So I'm going to get it wired in, and I'll let everyone know how it goes. So it should be pretty easy. I just got to pretty much connect 2 points or 4 points.
Yeah, I need a wiring kit for my other juniors. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how you like those.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped because honestly, there hasn't been a whole lot of people jumping in the harness game, it seems. Or maybe I'm just kind of blind to it. I know Emerson's the big one, and like no one else has really seems like gone up against him. I'm
It's
sure
kind of
there's-
unique. It's kind of a unique market.
Yeah.
So, yes, I mean, a lot of people either DIY or just have their tech do it, and there's not much of a middle road, if I had to assume.
Mhm.
Yeah, people who like cool stuff but are too stupid to do it themselves. Seems
Are
like
you
there should be a
describing
bigger
yourself
market.
there?
Yeah, complete. No, completely. I'm just like, there's got to be more people like me though. There's got to be a bigger market. Listen,
Oh.
I've talked to a lot of people online. The market's there for.
That's why we have
Yeah, I mean, like,
Vortex.
there's so many like forum pages of like, how do I wire that?
Yeah, just pay someone to do it, and then they just send it to you, and you get to feel like you actually accomplished something. Someone will be like, "Oh, that's really cool." I'll be like, "Yeah, I put that in there." Oh, Scott. So I guess
Oh,
it'd be really awkward if you asked yourself.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. Scott Marcourt just texted me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you had to drop that name there. Yeah, I don't think I have a lot new guitar-wise this week.
Wow.
You got stuff up for sale.
I'm actually like negative gear right now because I've been trying to sell, or I just sent out something. Yeah. So I got nothing new, so let's just kind of jump into gear here.
Yeah.
First thing on the list is the Tosin Abasi. I'm saying his name right?
Sure. That's the way
Sure.
I hear it in my head.
In collaboration with Brian Wampler, the Pathos Distortion.
Yeah, so it looks like a Wampler pedal for the most part. Because I guess
Well,
I
it is
guess
made by Wampler.
well, I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to describe it, and it has like kind of alien writing is what it looks like. Like not alien. It's like when you think of like outer space writing.
It looks like the same font they used on like Alien or
Yeah.
like those
Yeah.
kind of movies.
Yeah, but it's really slick. I mean,
Sounds pretty
it's
good.
minimalistic.
Handles, I mean, because Tosin has such a wide dynamic or wide frequency range that he covers with, because he does is it 8 strings? He does.
Yeah.
So yeah, sounds pretty good. So what are you guys thinking about how Tosin's kind of creating his own brand?
I mean, Eddie Van Halen does it. So, I mean, that's like, you've got the Eddie Van Halen guitars. That's who is branded, but Fender makes them. So,
Is it Fender?
I'm pretty sure-
Ernie Ball.
No.
Unless you're
Ernie
talking
Balls-
about like the old Frankenstein one.
No, yeah. It's the new Strat style. Like, it's a
It's either them or Jackson, but Fender owns Jackson, so.
oh wait, hold on. Someone's gonna tell us how Fender doesn't actually own Jackson. Jackson owns themselves.
Actually,
Actually,
Who was that? Was it Michael and then
it was
Jeff?
Newman. Yeah.
I love how, you know what, everyone just has a podcast so we can pick on Michael Newman. That's it. And he doesn't get to retort until he has to type it in a group. It usually happens right about 5:30 on Wednesday mornings because I'm at work, or it's like right around 5 o'clock. I see it and I always like it, but I don't comment back. Not because I don't want to talk to him. That just sounded mean.
gosh.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. Well, I guess we're going 2 Wamplers in a row.
Yeah. So also in related, we have the Wampler Fuzzstration Fuzz.
But it's an octave pedal.
It also has an octave in it. Yes. So
Yeah.
Fuzz Octave together. Have you guys given this one a listen yet?
Yeah, I've heard some of the stuff. They did a really cool release, which this is foreshadowing, and it was really cool. They teased it every day had a different thing, and when they released it, it was like 5 different demo people and it would go like one after another. So that was a really cool video. I think everyone should do something like that at some point.
It was really well synchronized, for sure.
Jason Wilding, good job. I think he was kind of the brains behind that one. So
there's always kind of I don't know if you guys are getting kind of dirt pedal exhaustion, but yeah, it's like every week on the show we have at least one fuzz that we talk about and one that we cut from the list, and this one got me interested because it really seems to have a lot of range to it.
Yeah. Who is it? Is it Jay Leonard J? Is that the demoer?
Yeah.
He did a fantastic demo. I love his demos though because I like his style of playing.
And how he just grins into the camera the whole time, so you're just like infected by his happiness. Oh, and he's playing that gorgeous Yamaha Revstar.
Ooh. I'm pretty sure it's the exact one that I wanted. I don't think it might not have the Bigsby on it, but it was the like blue denim.
Nice. I thought you were in love with a green one.
No, I think it's like a blue denim
with like the secret racing stripe.
Maybe, I don't know. We didn't talk about it. It's a secret.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I was trying to see how long I could keep it.
So yeah, it does a lot of range. It seems to do Big Muff to Tone Bender to like it hits all the styles. It seems like, which I'm really surprised by. And then the other interesting part that I think is underappreciated is how it's not one of those like it's sensitive to buffers.
Yeah. You can run at 9 to 18 volts too.
Yeah, and it can starve out. Like it's a Swiss Army knife of fuzz pedals, and so normally I'm not a big fuzz guy, but this one really got my attention.
Yeah, this looks really cool. I want to play one. It's going to be minimum advertised price of $199.97.
So the price isn't crazy either. I mean,
no.
We're watching sort of prices start to creep up on a lot of this stuff, and so it's pretty cool to see it still staying like lots of features and staying under the $200 price point.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people there's been people who've been talking about like the tariffs and stuff like that. Yeah. So.
Well, those are fully domestically made.
Are they? Well, I'm talking about they have to buy the
components
parts.
aren't, but
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, a lot of people. I mean, even if it's made here, they talk about components and stuff like that. I'm just messing around. That has nothing to do with anything. I got bored. I really don't know anything about tariffs, so.
You've been hanging out in the regular Gear Talk too much.
Come on, let's go, Scott. Move forward so we can get off my stupidity.
So next thing up is the Spruce Effects The Gale has been announced.
We could do a whole 30 minutes on just trying to guess what the blurred image is.
Well, it says what it is. I'm just saying.
Sorry, Chris, you're
expecting
Diaz to read the ad copy before we go watch an episode?
Listen, no, you dicks.
Open the page and read.
No, you. Screw you guys. Listen, I was talking about like what the image is supposed to be, not what the damn pedal is.
It looks like a wave.
It looks like freaking SpongeBob's house is getting knocked into Squidward's house by a reindeer and Santa Claus. That's
I would
exactly
imagine
it's
going to have something to do with trees in a strong wind.
I got a strong wind for you.
Keep it off.
Can I say you got a strong tree? No.
What?
I think Chris was trying to make a dick joke.
I don't think it worked.
Nope.
It seemed like it was a little flaccid.
They have pills for that. Just saying.
It's a hard one to get.
Oh.
I was just wondering why you went with the wind when that one was wide open to you.
That's what she said.
Okay.
So the Gale is a discrete op-amp distortion and fuzz circuit with NOS germanium gain and clipping stages, which is, Brian's bread and butter seems to be the germanium stuff. So
So explain that to us like we're 5 of how discrete distortion and fuzz.
It doesn't
is
matter.
different
We won
from
the
regular
war.
Fuzz.
We won the war, guys.
So
it doesn't matter.
In electronics terms, discrete just means the type of circuit it is. There's discrete components. It's a technical term.
Does it mean they're smaller and harder to see?
No.
They keep to themselves in private.
All right, now explain it to us like we're 3.
So the first 5 are going. This is going live on Black Friday, and what I thought was very interesting about this one, on top of the fact that like Brian makes pretty cool stuff, is that it's going live with no demos or images, and that the first 5 are announced are going to be a certain price. The next 7 after that are another price. Then the next 10 are another price, and those prices are stepping up by like what, $9 each, and then finally. So after that first 22, that hits full retail value. You guys have any thoughts about that, or should we save that till we get to the topic?
I guess we'll save that.
Yeah. Wait. What topic? This is foreshadowing, Scott.
How do you foreshadow without knowing what the...
I don't know. I'm Jewish. I don't have a foreshadow.
What? Moving on.
So Boss has unveiled the Next Tone guitar amplifiers. Diaz, do you have any thoughts on these things? Describe it. You want to lead us into this?
Yeah. So I really didn't. I've seen them around. I haven't had a chance to really check them out too much, but I'm trying to find the picture because I was looking at one of the pictures and
Yeah, and unfortunately, Boss's website is down right now, which is not making life easy on us.
So it looks, I mean, it's pretty much an extension of the katana. I mean, it looks like the katana.
Yeah, is this like supposed to be their answer to like the...
It reminds me of the Line 6
tubes?
flex tones.
It is not an answer to the new tube, no.
Okay.
So
No.
I would say this is what's meant to sit between the katana and the waza, essentially.
Yeah, and this doesn't have let's see. It has its own editor. And you can change things. So it looks like it's not it's not like the katana in the sense of it like has a million different not a million, but a bunch of different amp styles to pick from and all that. It seems like it's pretty well set on being kind of a what type of, let's see.
So originally when we had the katana come out, so the katana was interesting because everyone hacked it, right? And it unlocked all those bonus modes that we weren't supposed to have, right? It was only supposed to have the 5 or 6 settings on it. The acoustic clean, crunch, lead, brown, I think was what they are. And my katana is too far for me to actually like look at it. This is set up a little different where it's actually having it has a 6v6, 6L6, EL84, EL34 mode. And so you switch that knob and now it's basically acting like your prototypical 6v6 amp or your 6L6 amp. So it's no longer like the crazy gain stages, and like I think the Katana 50, they all kind of sound kind of voxy.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm guessing this is trying to hit the pretty much basics of quite a few different styles of tube amps.
I would say so.
I'm considering selling my Katana and getting one of these.
Oh, do you think the Katana will make the price will go down because of this? Let's see. So it looks like these are British.
Katanas are so cheap already. I mean,
so the next tone stage is $499 or $439 and $499. I guess those are, or it's €499. What's that in American?
Often the euro and the US price tends to be actually similar just because import stuff, but this is a Japanese product coming in, so I don't even know.
So, the 409 euros is $571
$571 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a
step
little
up.
bit. Yeah, it's probably going to sound a little better, and the katana already sounds great. So I'm guessing it does,
but I kind of want something that is like light. I can bring it around and and it can do Fendery and Voxy kind of stuff is really what I want.
Wait, hold on. Real quick.
Yep.
Are you guys on Music Radar?
Yep.
You scroll up to the video. Is it pause where they're like staring at, like they're both looking down at the guitar?
Yep.
I totally think they're going to play more than words. Sorry. I just had to bring everyone down that rabbit hole.
That is an intense song with two men singing at each other.
That's right. I still love oh my gosh. Jack White.
So again, this is a very straightforward amp. What's interesting as well about it from a technology standpoint is it's still not a modeling amplifier, where the Katana did some modeling in it. So modeling being like it runs through a DSP and gets like the sound shaped by a DSP. This is still like an actual amplifier circuit that is designed to be a solid state model of each of those circuits. So that's actually a pretty complicated kind of process, actually reminiscent of back in the Cybertwin days. Remember that thing?
I had one.
Yeah, that did a similar thing, but I'm imagining this does it a little bit better.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I would say so, because like I did like the Katana. I don't like own one, but this seems a little more up my alley since it's, you kind of know what you're getting into a little more than the Katana as far as like models.
Yeah, this is much more straightforward, I think, than the Katana is going to be. Whereas like the beauty in the Katana was once you kind of cracked it open with the firmware hack and got all those extra amps unlocked, that's when it really became fun.
Do you think someone's going to hack this one?
I don't know if they can.
Why couldn't they?
Well, because it's much more of a discrete component thing than...
Listen, if we can get Matthew Lillard and Angelina Jolie together, they're the hackers. They can get into this amp.
Or
That is
Matthew
such
Broderick.
a dated reference.
That was very dated, but it was a great reference.
I'm amazed you knew who he was in that movie.
Who, Matthew Lillard?
Yeah.
Dude, he was killer in SLC Punk. Have you seen that?
It doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, if you've seen it, you'd know. SLC Punk is one of the greatest movies ever. Only posers die. Just remember that. Movie made me cry.
Did you cry in Titanic too?
No, but I did cry at The Pursuit of Happiness, man. That gets me every time. When he gets the job at the end, he's outside.
Spoilers.
Scott, listen. Turns out he was dead the whole time.
I haven't seen The Sixth Sense yet.
Have you not really?
No.
Then how do you know the ending?
Because everyone talks about the endings, and now I'm like, I don't need to see it.
Oh, dude, if you want to see amazing acting, watch that movie. And the guy at the beginning is actually Donnie Wahlberg, but he lost so much weight he looks nothing like himself.
Would I recognize
freaky.
Donnie Wahlberg if...
How do you not recognize Donnie Wahlberg? He was a new kid on the block.
Yeah, we didn't all have that poster above our beds when we were kids, Diaz.
There was a guy in there called Jonathan. His name was Jonathan. That's what matters.
Is he one of the Wahlberg kids?
No, he's the other Wahlbergs. Yeah, he's Marky Mark's brother.
So speaking of Boss products, they also announced the Waza Tube Amp Expander. Did you guys get a chance to dig into this one at all?
No.
I looked into it, but I didn't see a price at the time.
Okay, so
I don't think they've
just
announced the price yet for US.
Is it just like a fancy let's see, it takes the load speaker out. What is that called?
A reactive load?
Sure.
Or an attenuator?
Attenuator, that's what I was thinking of.
Or do you still have to have the speaker cab hooked up to it? That's been my biggest thing about wanting to try some of this stuff, is finding one that's decently priced that you can just, plug your 100-watt head into and not worry about.
This can add an effects loop. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this, you don't need a speaker with it.
Sweet.
What's interesting about this is it has a solid state amp in it. So you can take, full load off of your tube amp head into it and then control how loud it is in your speakers via that. I think it's a Class D amplifier, but frankly, it really shouldn't matter at that
Oh, I
point.
see what you're saying. Oh, I didn't even notice that when I first looked at it.
So it's almost like reamping, but that term has different connotations for a lot of people.
And it has a headphone jack.
It has a headphone jack. You can load IRs into it for direct recording. It has a cab
Has
sim
USB
in
out
it.
too.
Yep.
This is good. I really hope this is going to be less than, let's say 500, because I would put it right under the
it's
torpedoes.
Waza. It's gonna be.
It's how much?
I'm saying it's a Waza product. It's gonna be $499.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll be right in there, because even the lower end torpedo stuff, that's like just the size of like a direct box. Those are still like iffy and like 250 or something like that. So this is good in between.
Yeah, a lot of people are also comparing this right now to Universal Audio released their, what was it, the OX head?
Oh yeah.
The Ox.
Yeah, but wasn't that like over $1,000?
It was expensive. Yeah, it was expensive. I mean, the 2-note stuff is pretty expensive too. So,
but it's more like reasonable. Like I would not mind going out spending 800 on like the Torpedo Live, like to throw in my rack with. If I had a head case with a rack, that would be like a name stay in there, just so I wouldn't have to drag a cab with me everywhere.
yeah, I know when Mike Tremblay from Native Effects does his, or it might not be his current rig, but his old rig at one of his guitar shows, instead of doing like the Amplify headphone rig, he brought a vintage Bassman into a 2-notes into headphones. And like that's what you could demo his stuff on, and it sounded so good. So it would be cool if like that becomes the new NAMM rig, is like these kind of things. Instead of,
since it's Boss, I mean, worst case scenario, it's mediocre. You know, it's not going to be one of those things that I'm thinking is going to just totally suck.
yeah, I think this has pretty good potential of being good. I also, the effects loop placement of it is an interesting thing because it comes after your power tubes. So if you're cooking your power tubes and then you're adding your delay onto it, instead of like you're cooking your preamp tubes, then you're running that to an effects loop, and then you're cooking your power tubes.
But I mean, if you got something like a vintage Marshall, you know, you're going to need that effects loop, period.
Or a Fender.
Never,
Maximum
my
150
basement
watt
didn't have
load.
that.
What was that, Diaz?
Sorry, I was reading the maximum load is 150 watts.
Yeah, so it can take a lot of different things, and also bear in mind that's going to be a lot of heat that thing's outputting.
Yeah, that's a big load.
And then it has presets for 10 things, 10 how'd they put it? 10 onboard setups.
Like
Yeah,
you have
and-
different 10 programs.
Yeah, and depending on how the IRs are loaded in, I mean, who knows what you can download. I mean, there's such a good library now out there of like freely available.
Oh yeah, so I was going to be interested to see if these are like proprietary wires or not. What concerns me about running this solo is that there's not a visible like fan, and there's only like vents on the side.
Oh, that fan is clearly to the left there on the top photo if you're on Music Radar's announcement. That cutout right there is clearly a fan.
Okay, so there's one fan and then only one other set of vents. That would concern me a little bit. But
Yeah, I mean, outputting 100 watts, that can get a lot of heat going pretty quick. So I'd be concerned about you rack mounting this, to be honest, given where that fan is placed. That might be tricky.
well, if it's rack mounted, you'll still have some breathable area in there since it's not a top mount fan. But it's still being on the side versus like the back isn't going to be great. But even setting this on top of like a head case wouldn't be too terrible. And that gets a whole lot more airflow.
So, yeah, I assume this is going to be one of the NAMM releases, and they just kind of put all their press release, their big stuff out already. But I'm really curious. I think price point's going to be the major thing that, like, is the sink or swim of this product. And since it's Boss, I think it's going to be less than the boutique stuff or the high-end stuff. So hopefully it comes in at the right spot.
It's going to be like, I think it's going to be $399 to $499.
Yeah, that seems really actually low considering how much stuff is in there, though.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing about Boss. That's usually what happens. Like at first you're like, it's a Boss, it's this much, but then you get it and you're like, this has a lot of stuff going on.
Well, let's take another step over here.
If you look on your left,
we teased this a little bit, or Diaz alluded to it last week because it got semi-leaked. But Chase Bliss has released the Dark World Dual Reverb.
Yep. So it's their first fully digital pedal. Because one of their things was digital brain, analog heart, and that's pretty hard to do an analog reverb.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could you imagine them putting out a big whole analog reverb?
No, you actually have to buy the building, so you have a hall. and then in one of the rooms, there's gonna be a giant plate for a plate reverb, and
there's a cave underneath.
There's a cave underneath. The Bat Cave actually works fantastic.
And there's a mic in the bathroom for tile.
And then
I just want to point out that I do analog reverb for a living, and it's very expensive.
Oh, we don't doubt that.
Yeah. No. Scott's like, no. $400,000. You got to build a whole new building.
That's a cheap building.
I didn't say. I don't know what their budget
that's just
is.
my fees. I'm good with that.
No,
I'm
I
happy
don't
to charge
know.
a $400,000.
A one-time consulting fee.
He just walks in and just goes, nah, and walks out. That's it. That's his consulting.
Oh gosh, I love those days where I have days where I just walk in and go, yeah, there's your problem, and I'll write a report. Bye. No, I don't think I've ever really talked about what I do for a living on the show, and so.
No, we want to keep listeners, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't even want to listen to me talk about what I do for a living, so.
You can just fast forward 30 minutes. Yeah. Just catch the end of the podcast. But so the cool thing, I watched 60 Cycle Hum's demo release because they were good boys and didn't spread it. I don't think a demo person spread it.
How much of a leak was it really? Like it
was no one knew. Everyone thought it was a reverb because that's just the logical sense of the fact that they do modulations.
Well, and the name leaked like 6 months ago.
Well, yeah, but that's easy because a lot of times people are filing for copyright, and you can honestly just look, and there's honestly people who do that. I've seen it where they look up who copyrighted, like if Brian Wampler copyrighted this, and they're like, that's going to be the name of the pedal, or it's possibly. But the thing that really sucks is that it was teased very well. Oh wait, hold on. You know what? We'll just talk about this because this is going to be the topic. So I'll talk about that later.
We'll circle back.
Yeah, just put a pin in that.
We got one more thing to talk about.
All right, so.
Two more things.
Let's actually talk about the pedal, what it is and what it does real quick here. I think one of my favorite parts about this is there are 3 brand names on this pedal right now. There's Cooper Effects, there's Keeley, and there's Chase Bliss. And so seeing how much of a collaborative product this was to get it out is really cool. There's that mini documentary that Chase Bliss announced with it, where it has him sitting with Robert Keeley and it has him sitting with, I forgot who Cooper FX's owner is. Sorry. But them talking about like what it can do, benefits of it, and like the process of how they got there. It's cool to see that type of professional collaboration on something. And then on top of that, watching how this is literally 2 independent reverbs interacting with each other. So this is closer to what the Brothers is in terms of that versus like a lot of other Chase Bliss pedals where the 2 pedals, one has a function on the primary function. You know, like it's a tap tempo or it's a hold switch or something like that. This is literally just 2 circuits in one box. And you can change around the order and how they play with each other. And how one is traditional reverb, so spring, hall, and a plate reverb. And Robert Keeley helped design those algorithms, and they sound fantastic. And then the dark section being the modulated reverbs and shimmer and all the really weird and out there stuff, and then how the two play together is really, really cool. And I want one.
Oh, you're gonna have one.
Yeah, this is only $350.
Yeah,
like
you may have
that?
seen me. You may have seen me list a few more things online to sell right now because I want to buy one.
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that kind of makes me nervous is I've never messed with the I've never messed with a Chase Bliss pedal, and like whenever you're like programming and all that, it just seems it's very overwhelming just looking at stuff. But you got the Red Knob mod tonal recall, don't you?
I do.
So do you just use like the 2 settings, or do you control it at all?
So I have a fade switch with mine, so I've got 6 presets sort of figured out.
Okay.
But I really don't play with the dip switches on the back that much that do the ramping.
Okay.
I found just enough wealth of sounds in there of sort of different delay needs. Just in the traditional 6 knobs that I haven't even dove in that deep. I mean, and that's the thing with Chase Bliss pedals is a lot of them are actually very simple to use before you get to the dip switches. So if you just ignore them, they're actually very easy to understand pedals.
That's cool. I really want to get a Chase Bliss pedal at some point. I've never owned one. That's one company I've never owned.
I highly recommend, like, when you're at a show and they have one of their folks there, like, Zach is really good at explaining how the pedal works. And like he'll do a live demo. He's like, so I'm going to flip this switch, I'm going to flip this switch, and check this out. And all I'm doing is moving this knob from here to here to here. Because that's what a lot of the dip switches do, is it's basically simulating you twisting the knob back and forth on the top. Which, so like, I think on Ryan Burke's demo, he took the mix knob and ramped it back and forth. And it created a tremolo effect. So, I want this. I want it bad. Well, let's keep moving here. The Dunlop has released effectively 3 products this week.
Yeah, the mini ISO brick power supply, the vintage bass, Octave, which is a mini, and the way huge purple Platypus Octadrive. So they, I mean, 2 of them are just variations on something they've already put out.
Yeah, it seems like they're going for what's the Smalls Strymon called? The power supply from them.
The Ohe.
Oh, the Ohai. Oh, hi, Mark.
Is that not how you spell Ouija? Am I just wrong?
Like Luigi
I
or
don't
like
know.
a Ouija board?
We've had
No,
this
like a Ouija board.
discussion with a guy in a shop, and he's not even sure, and he's like, talk to the people.
Yeah. Scott, if you could put a feeler out there, we can just get a recording of how to pronounce.
Yeah,
the products.
everybody put in our group, how do you say the Strymon Ohe?
Oh, I call it Ohai, just like it is the Ohai mark. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
So yeah, it's expansion of that line. They
Is the
say
purple
it's
platypus new?
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. The way he was just still making pedals, like bringing out new ones.
I mean, they've been steadily coming out with new stuff.
I don't know. I guess I just never see it. That's probably it. By Jorge Trips. Or George, however you want to pronounce it. He might be French. George Trips.
Oh, actually, sorry. No, it is a the purple platypus was a previous line. They've brought it back with a Mark II.
Oh.
Oh. Well, okay.
So it's an octave up effect on top of the Red Llama Overdrive. So
What? Somebody did an octave without a fuzz? How dare they?
No. You can take it to a fuzz.
Oh, God damn it.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen a demo on this yet. It's been such a crazy week. All right. And the last one of the news, 50 minutes into our recording here.
I honestly feel like that was like a marathon run.
Has it been 50 minutes?
And then
Wow.
then you look down at the treadmill and realize you've only got done like a quarter mile, and you're like,
Listen, hey, I don't do treadmills, brother. Proverbs 21:8. Only the wicked run when no one's chasing them.
yeah. There's also that whole, New Testament stuff about run this.
Yeah,
As
run
such
the
a way
race,
to win a
Paul.
But
I don't know about
if you
that.
want to be stuck in the old covenant, Diaz,
The wicked flee though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. I'm bold as a lion. Leave me alone, Scott.
Hey, Joel, we need you to settle down.
No, because I didn't say. And now we're gonna make peace with Scott instead of doing this, so we can find happiness in our life, so we can get lots of money.
You're right, that would never happen.
That was my Joel Osteen for you. You
Normally I
Cody Field, you're
apologize
welcome.
for offending people. I'm not on this one. Let's
You're
move
welcome.
on.
You're welcome, Cody. Cody Fields, if you're listening, you're welcome. That was for you, buddy.
So the last one to talk about is the Hive Fuzz from Solid Gold FX.
Okay, this is a really cool design on this pedal. I've been sitting here just staring at it.
Oh, the artwork?
I love it. Yes.
Is that engraved or is it just printed?
I was
It's
actually about to ask that too, if it was
It's
like laser etched or
probably
something.
printed, which is fine because it looks engraved.
Yeah,
It's got to be.
It's
I'm
not
sure it's
gonna
printed.
be etched in any way for 165. Like, there's no
Okay.
way.
But the cool thing about this fuzz is tell them about the fuzz, Scott.
it is available for buy one get one free if you're getting any other Solid Gold Effects product on Black Friday.
Interesting.
Actually, I don't know if you have to wait till Black Friday because I want to see if you can do it now. Let's see. If 6 was 9 looks pretty cool. And the really cool thing about the Black Friday with them is they've got a bunch of different Black Friday edition colors.
Yeah, I haven't even. I'm imagining I'm going to see a lot of those coming out on Friday, or
Oh
like
my
Thursday at
gosh.
midnight. You get all the emails from everybody saying, "Hey, here's what we're doing."
I want the Funk Light. All right, so I'm gonna add that to my cart. Let's go back and get the free Hive Fuzz. Let's see. I'm gonna see. I just want to see if I can actually get it right now. Who is listening to a speech?
That's one of my brother-in-laws. I think he's playing Call of Duty.
I was about to say he sounds like Winston Churchill. We will not go. We will cross the waters. I don't know. That's my horrible British accent.
I was really hoping you would just go into the speech from Independence Day.
No. What was it? Robin Williams did a little skit. He said the guy who used to do Winston Churchill's speeches, like there would be a guy who would just like do the speeches on the radio for him, so he didn't have to do them. It was the same guy who voiced Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, we will not go by land or by sea, Eeyore and Tigger.
So I can't figure out where to put the coupon code in without actually giving them my credit card information.
Yeah, oh, wait, hold on. Hit checkout. You have to hit checkout.
I still don't see a coupon.
It's on the right-hand side. It's a discount.
Maybe I needed to make the window wider.
Yeah, way to go. Oh my gosh. You can do it right now.
Yep. Okay, so it's live now. Go buy a Hive Fuzz, everybody.
Sorry.
Yeah, since this comes out on Wednesday, do it now.
Yeah, do it before Black Friday. All
So-
right. So I think we should move on.
Yeah, that gets us to our final topic that Diaz brought up earlier of releasing pedals in the right and the wrong ways to announce them. Because we've seen today, just to recap, we saw Solid Gold literally just make this free with any other pedal purchase.
Yep.
And that was Black Friday deals. We saw Chase Bliss with a very elaborate teasing structure that
Attempted.
that had somebody, a lot of people trying to crack it and figure out what it was pretty early on, and a person wind up leaking stuff. We had Wampler teasing things for a while as well.
Which did an amazing job teasing. I loved it.
But very early on, they actually said it was a Fuzz. Very early on. And then we also had Spruce Effects basically announcing the name, but not even showing you artwork or anything, and just saying, "Good Black Friday, it comes out."
Yep.
With a first in gets a discount.
Yeah, so I'm going to elaborate. Now I get to elaborate on the Dark World.
Yep.
So Chase Bliss announced the Dark World dual reverb today, but there was a big tease on it, and it was really cool because everyone was like, it's a reverb, it's got to be a reverb, it's got to be a reverb. So, I mean, it's honestly one of the areas that they haven't tackled yet was a reverb that everyone's been begging for. So everyone's freaking out, and then of course it was a bass player leaked it. The guy who plays bass for Mars Volta, and he's played bass for other people. I can't remember his name, but
Juan Alderette.
Yeah, okay. Now my hatred just bubbled. But he released it, and like apparently I didn't see the post. Joel or Chase Bliss, someone was just like, take it down, like, dude, take it down. And
was it just like an Instagram photo of it?
Yes, it was an Instagram photo, and there was a lot of people who were upset. Some people were excited, and I think, but the overall thing was kind of disappointment that someone messed it up. And a lot of it's because Joel is such a nice guy. I've always had a good interaction with Joel. I think I've met him a couple times. But the first summer NAMM I went to, he was there, and he actually hung out with me and my wife, gave us t-shirts, and we sat down and were playing with pedals. And it was pretty cool to talk to him. Yeah. And it was just kind of crazy that it got leaked. All that. You got to think, these people don't just say, we'll just release it. And, if we tease it, if someone releases, lets people know beforehand, no big deal. They're pretty elaborate on this. And
particularly Chase Bliss, because they did the whole Analog Heart series. Like they had 8 episodes or 6 episodes of like a video series, and that's not... Yeah, insignificant.
And it was all kind of squashed. And I've seen there's been a big discussion online. I've seen some people say, well, it's gonna get. People are gonna find out anyways. What does it matter? And you got people who are like, oh well, who cares? It's just a release date. It's just one day early. And it's like, man, it honestly kind of sucks. And this is my biggest thing, where I feel like it hurts the company. One of the big things that, look at kind of on Black Friday as a prime example. Black Friday is really big in the gear community, mostly because, you got sales, but a lot of it is impulse buying. And it's pretty common to see when people have something that they're very passionate about. Most guitar players are very passionate about it. We love to do it. Where impulse buying happens because you love something so much, and then something cool gets released and it's new, fun, and you get really excited. A lot of people are impulse buyers. If you announce the pedal and it's not available to be bought, you've lost a lot of impulse buyers. And that's going to financially hurt the company, because people are going to sit there and think about it for a little bit and be like, do I really need it? And that's, impulse buying is a very big thing. Look at grocery stores. They plan their whole stores around it. And
but is a $350 reverb pedal out of impulse buying range at that point?
No, not if you look at the stuff that we buy.
Not for some people.
That's, honestly, I mean, 350 impulse buy for me, pretty much out of range. You know, that's kind of out of range. It's out of, I mean, but a lot of these people look at guitar's not a cheap hobby, and not everyone comes from the world of, all right, well, I'm going to buy this and then I'll sell this and use, you know, the money to go towards this. There's a lot of people in this community that, you know, you see them, they're like, I bought a Big Sky and a Timeline today, and then I bought this, and it's like, dude, you literally never had a reverb pedal before, and you're going to buy a Big Sky.
Yeah, and we're also in a world of 0% financing.
Yeah,
on a lot of these store credit cards. So I mean that encourages the impulse buying, or the, oh well, it's only $100 a month, or you know, those kind of things, and then suddenly you're over leveraged.
Bingo, that's me, like completely 100% me. Like that's really tough. I mean, Z-Sounds, you're like, oh, just one time fee and the rest, and it's the same as cash. Bam, buy it. So I mean, that's one of my big arguments with it, and kind of the things that upset me about it. Is because, you know, it's not like that's not going to happen. It's going to completely change the way people are impulse buying, because they're just sitting around. They're like, you know, after a while, they think about it for 2 days. They're like, no, I'm fine without it. So that's a sale that was just lost.
So I was actually in the other camp. I was in the, so I've known about this for a while, but it was like, oh, it'll be a Chase Bliss reverb pedal. It'll be ramping. It will have I saw a lot of these things coming until I actually saw the tangible product together with how the modulated reverb worked in the dual function. And that finally got me wanting it. Yeah, but it took weeks. This has been spoiled for me for a while. Yeah, and I wasn't sitting there like, oh, I didn't get the immediate impulse. I need it. Until like I got hands on, or I had chance to get ears on it and actually evaluate what I liked about it. So
I mean, so here's a prime example of like the impulse buying happening. Look at limited runs.
Oh, and that's what Black Friday's all about.
Well, you got Black Friday, and look at the Pelotar. Usually, like the pink Pelotar sold pretty fast. I mean, I'm not sure if it 100%. Like if it was a really big increase for Leon over there, but I mean that got rid of 13 Pelotars pretty fast within a week. I mean, you've got stuff like that. I mean, I think it just kind of sucks. I think there's I think it's almost as disappointing as like whenever a company releases a pedal and really doesn't make a big announcement for it.
And just kind of limps out there.
Yeah, and you're just like, wait, where did this come from? They're like, oh yeah, we kind of released it like a month ago. I don't know. That's
how I feel about every Electro Harmonix pedal. Like unless I saw the press release, it just sneaks right by me.
Oh, Robert Keeley kind of does that. He doesn't tease anything. He just makes a Facebook post, sends out an email, and it's not like some big hoorah. There's no tease. So.
Yeah, I mean, part of that as well, though, is like Chase Bliss is a group that only put out 3 pedals this year. Right?
Yeah.
They had the Therme, the Condor, and this. And what's really interesting about Chase Bliss compared to a lot of other companies is I can name every pedal that came out from them this year. I paid a lot of attention. I watched a lot of gear demos. Like they were very present in my mind, and I didn't forget about them a week later. And like how they released their products with a lot of production and involvement, and the fun videos of Joel running around in a bathrobe shouting "bath," and stuff like that, like made me pay more attention to that pedal. And so the release was a lot more effective. That I don't think that one getting leaked necessarily is going to hurt it as much as a Mr. Black $75 pedal sale. A leak would, because that is more your impulse buy stuff. Or like last weekend, Love Pedal did another one of their $50 drives kind of things. Those are total impulse buy fodder, right? It's a different market, and so like spoiling one of those, I think, has a bigger effect than than necessarily ruining it. I don't feel like this big media campaign really got ruined so much as it was just something to talk about, and actually probably hyped up the train a little bit, because now in a week in advance we're saying, oh, look at Juan Alderete ruined this, blah 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 blah, and we're talking about it, right?
Yeah, but we would have been talking about it anyways. I think the people who cared about it are the ones talking about it anyways. I don't know. I think that it really makes it lose its pizzazz. Like there's no, it's kind of like a spoiler. It really is a spoiler. It's like, you're walking, in to see a movie, you get your popcorn, you're so excited, you're like, man, I wanted to see this movie. And then the guy walks by you who works there, or like, I don't know. He's like the little kid with the broom and the dustpan. He's like, yeah, Leo DiCaprio drowns. He dies in the movie. And you're like, dude, what the heck? Why'd you ruin Titanic for me?
Oh, come on. You didn't see that coming.
Didn't what? The reverb?
Titanic,
Leo died?
Titanic sinking.
But listen, man, I went and saw that movie in theaters. Man, I remember it because that was the first time I saw boobs on a big screen. And I was with my buddy Clay McKendry, and we went and I saw it, and my sister hadn't seen it, and she was in love with Leonardo DiCaprio. I totally spoiled the movie for her. I just went up to her and went bloop 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 bloop. I was a horrible person.
All right, so I'll flip this around. We mentioned a few of the other ones, right?
Yeah.
So I think Frustration and the Chase Bliss falls into similar camps of long media campaigns that teased it and slowly released it, and that was a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
We're paying attention to it. So how about something like what Spruce Effects is doing? How do you feel about that? Where is that kind of going? Where they're keeping it hid until the minute you can buy it, and there's incentivized pricing if you buy it right away.
Yeah, I like that. I like that premise. I think it'll work pretty well, especially with the lower price. But it'll.
Yeah, my only thing though would be, I know a lot of people don't care to hear things, and they just want whatever the newest thing is. But there are some of us that want to hear what we're getting before.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of it's a unique thing that we're spoiled with YouTube demos now. Remember when we used to have to go to Guitar Center and try a pedal before we bought it?
Do you remember whenever you used to read reviews written about pedals, and you had to try to imagine what it sounded like?
What? Not you can't really imagine what a creamy distortion sounds like with a little bit of bite.
Sounds like Bailey's from a boot.
So, is a YouTube demo absolutely required as part of a release? I know that's something I kind of comment about when we're looking at these press releases.
It would really depend on who it was from and the price.
If you wanna release a pedal in 9 months, just send it to me now, and we'll start working on the YouTube demo. I'm sorry.
But hey, we can probably keep it a secret for those 9 months.
I don't know about that. What they have to do is
how many months did Diaz post on Gear Talk Praise and Worship about how good Lambertone's pickups are, and a demo is coming soon?
This is true. Send it to me since I'm never on social media that much, and I'll keep it a secret.
Here's the thing. Soon is relative. I mean, compared to the end of the world, that was pretty darn soon when that thing got released.
Yeah, compared to when the dinosaurs were alive.
I don't know. We might be stretching it there.
The pedal came out closer to the time of the dinosaurs being alive than the end of the world.
So yeah, just send it to Diaz. He'll have it done before Winter NAMM next year.
I think we can squeeze it in before Summer NAMM. A little bit of a push.
We'll just record it at Summer NAMM.
This is true. And then it'll be out 3 months later.
Yeah, there we go.
When my computer dies and it has to sit dormant for a month and a half.
I'm surprised that like the Crema version 2 hadn't been released already. He's like, that was like 7 pickups ago, dude.
Actually, we beat it by about a month, right?
It was only about a month.
Did I tell you guys about I sent something to Curtis this weekend?
You didn't mention it on air, but we did talk about it.
Yeah, Curtis and I are working on something. We'll see if it pans out.
Is it the P90s?
No, he's fixing a pickup of his.
Yeah, my John Mayer pickups are starting to go, so I sent them out to him, and he's gonna take a look at them.
Did you sent all 3 so that way he can figure out how to make them sound that great, and we can actually have Big Dipper pickups for sale somewhere?
I may have intentionally sent him all 3 so he'd be able to look at them and see what he can do.
Oh my gosh, I'd have to buy a Strat in a heartbeat.
Because he modeled the triple shots closer to what the pickups in the Silver Sky are like. He talks about that in the ad copy on that. Doesn't mention the Silver Sky by name, but he does mention John Mayer by name.
He could just put John Myers.
John Myers. Yeah. Is that Zach Myers' younger brother?
I don't know. Have you seen... Listen, if you want to see a funny video, you got to see John Mayer's like bloopers from when he was on MTV all the time. Or not the bloopers, but like the cutouts. He was interviewing people at his own concert. He was like in a a dog suit or something like that. It was weird. But it was a bear suit. He's like, so what do you think about John Myers? I'm like, oh, we love him. It was great.
Do you ever see his Instagram on how to do a smoky eye?
No.
He did one night. He just started doing makeup tutorials on Instagram Live.
Oh my gosh. Did you see his how to make a love song?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. It's him like going through, and this had to have been right around Gravity and Continuum and all that. It was great. I'll have to send it to you. If you want to get in on our John Myers text, just hit us up in the group and we'll add you to the secret text.
Well, I think that wraps up our topic pretty well.
Yeah, that was a great way to break it in there. Talking about John Mayer in a group text.
And, yeah.
This is 100% what I was shooting for.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Once again, thank you to Stringjoy for sponsoring this episode. Check them out at stringjoy.com, or you can actually email them directly. And if you have any type of questions, or you're like, I got a weird idea for strings, like I want to make my guitar into a baritone, or I want to have strings specifically for DAG-GAD tuning, or any of those kind of things, reach out to them and they'll have some good advice for you. There's all of our social media stuff to follow us on. Definitely, we were talking about the Facebook group, the facebook.com/group/the effects loop. Join in the discussion. I think I would really love on Wednesday when this comes out to have everybody sort of chatting about what's the best way to release a pedal and good examples. I think this could be a real fun discussion, so please join in on it. Follow us on YouTube. We'll have a proprietary link at some point in life. Follow us on Instagram at The Effects Loop. And then also go on to iTunes and please leave us a review. Positive feedback. Just ignore that Diaz is here. All good things. And I think that wraps up our episode. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Scott didn't do for the effect. We didn't say our names.
No.
Well, I'm Diaz. Bye.
So let's come together, show 'em something.
There's that.
Chris, are you working at a bar?
No, he just has the Liberty Bell full of like metal shards that he's just rattling around right now.
Oh my god. He's like, hold on 1 second.
Hang on, let me put the microphone in the container so that we can get all the noise.
Hold on, I'm getting the four trash bags of Coca-Cola cans that I'm about to turn in to see if I can get some money for it. Hold on, I'm moving all those.
All right, let's do it.
Welcome to the Effects Loop. I'm Scott.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Diaz.
We're keeping you in the loop of the guitar community.
And we're making a bunch of noise.
I'm not going till somebody sings.
Do 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 do.
Have to do it.
All right, you got to keep that in front of the song.